And we are seeing 2 Spires. Spires, obviously a lot of faith in them after this buff. I can see why. They seem to be very, very strong right now. I don't know if they're stronger than everything else, but they're definitely at least on par with a lot of the other ships. Let's go ahead and look at the builds. Wings of Daedalus first off. A lot of Overwatch. I think, yeah, it's Wings of Daedalus and Overwatch. First up, the Redacted, a Spire being piloted by Vomact. On the front, we have a Hades with a Minotaur to complement. Port side, Echidna. Starboard side, Mine Launcher. The team's also bringing the Peanut Butter Bear, a Junker being piloted by Aoi Fox. Port side, double Artemis with another Artemis on the front for a 3 Artemis trifecta. Gap Mortar on the starboard. Then for the Praetorians, we have once again the RAS Harpoon Jenkins, a Spire being piloted by Lazy Pandas. Watcha on the front with an Artemis on the front for lots of component disable. Banshee on the port side and a Gatling on the starboard. They're also bringing the RAS Minerva, a Goldfish being piloted by Jub Jub. On the front we have a Heavy Carronade with a Banshee on the port side and a Flamethrower on the starboard. Pretty standard looking Blenderfish. Harpoon Jenkins leading the way. They want to get that first burst out. And the Spire is significantly tougher than it used to be, so it can take an initial barrage potentially. Still could get bursted down just like any other ship, but I could definitely see bringing the Spire around front. Not as worried about the Hades in this map, and in fact the Minerva is going to move forward now. Going to check for enemies. Now, the Wings of Daedalus, they're playing this pretty carefully. They're eyeing this area. They figure that the Minerva and the Harpoon Jenkins really want the center of the map. They imagine they're going to be there, and in fact they were looking between these buildings, checking to see if they were going to be there. In fact, the Harpoon Jenkins is going to come around, and I think, yeah, the Praetorians want the flank. This is a very bold maneuver. Harpoon Jenkins coming around on the side. Redacted can eat a lot of damage from the Minerva immediately. However, the Minerva is going to get focused down. Gatling going down on the Redacted. This time, maybe all that they need to pick up the kill, and that is a quick burst and death on the Redacted. Look at that fire. Now, the Peanut Buttered Bear left all alone to Gap Mortar the Minerva. They're going to get the Gap Mortar going, but the armor comes back up very quickly. Second barrage of Gatling, not going to be able to finish them off, and the Hwacha completely disables the Peanut Butter Bear. Armor drops to the Gatling, and the Artemis is going to be left to finish off this poor old Junker. Ground up against the building. Doesn't even need that. Oh, the green names are just because they're on my friends list. I'm very sorry, Shani. That's just kind of part of it. Very well played by the Praetorians. That flank could not have gone any better. Very well timed. I think that they must have seen the Wings of Daedalus. They must have seen one another, assumed that the Wings of Daedalus wasn't going to move. The Praetorians came in. That was just excellent. We're seeing the speed buff on the Spire come to great use. The damage potential, the speed, and the increased durability on the Spire are proving to be very, very strong. Its vertical profile and the spacing of all of its components still leaves it very vulnerable. But, obviously, especially in an initial engagement, it's very, very strong. Impressive flying from Lazy Pandas as well. Huge shout out to him. He's definitely one of the better pilots in this game, if not one of the best. Now, Wings of Daedalus feeling even more tentative than they were before. Understandably so. They're just going to hole up around the center of the map. It looks like the Praetorians kind of gave it up. The Wings of Daedalus say, you know what, we'll take it. Peanut Butter Bear hanging out over this building may be a dangerous proposition, though. It gives them lots of view. But if they lose their balloon, they're going to drop really fast. So far, the Minotaur Not quite able to do anything just yet. The flank was too strong from the Praetorians. There was no possible answer. Protect him, Peanut Butter Bear. Slowly moving through these clouds. Minerva coming around the side here. May be able to get the flank on the Peanut Butter Bear and Redacted, but even if they do, the Spire will be able to turn very quickly. There we go. First shots coming out. Minotaur already throwing the Spire off. Not quite able to throw them into a building, but here comes the Hades. Spot is down. First couple of Hades go into the Hwacha. Gonna tank a little bit for it. Nah, not even. They bump. Take a little bit of damage, but they're gonna be okay. One mallet whack will be enough. Harpoon Jenkins, in fact, charging in. Redacted losing its armor almost immediately. Do they want to ram? I think they want to ram. Armor comes back up. No, they're just going to nuzzle them. They don't quite want to throw themselves into the building. Banshee coming out, Gatling coming out. All guns a-blazing on the Harpoon Jenkins. The Redacted going to not drop. Bump goes into the balloon. Harpoon Jenkins loses its armor. Counter nudge from the Redacted. Going to do a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. There they go. Peanut Butter Bear losing their balloon in the meantime. Minerva locking them down quite nicely, and they bounce. They bring their balloon back up, but it's not going to last very long to the Minerva's Hellhound. They need to get off this building, but look at the way this building is structured. They're stuck. They're stuck in this little concavity, and there they go. They add their rubble and fill it right up. 4-0 in favor of the Praetorians. Very nicely played on their part. Just overall, great damage control. They didn't get the first volley, but they still performed excellently. They stayed calm and collected. 5 minutes played right now. Still plenty of time left on the clock. Looks like this may be a pretty quick SCS. And Thomas is an elf. Thomas is an elf. Perfect. Right now, Lazy Pandas and Jub just doing an excellent job of controlling these engagements, even when they don't start out the way they want to. Here we go. Peanut Butter Bear caught out. This could go pretty quickly. Armor down. Hull broken. Bump. That's all she wrote. Very, very well played on the part of the Praetorians. Game 1 going 5-0 in their favor.